Karma, I don't believe in it, but I sure do wish the universe operated on its principles. It's pretty satisfying to see someone immediately punished for their crappy actions. You do something nice, you find 20 bucks in the ground. You're a dong to your waiter, you step on a gobstopper-shaped Lego. Ugh. When I think of karma, though, I do think of that video on the internet where there's an old man crossing an intersection, he starts cursing at a car, and immediately he runs right into a stop sign. Like his face smashed into the stop sign, and the people in the car immediately start laughing, and that pisses him off even more. Like, I felt bad, but it was still funny. But recently on the internet, now the story is not new or anything, but I think this is even a better one. This guy robbed a hot dog stand, and then he actually ends up shooting his own hot dog. So you know what? Maybe karma is a thing after all. This silly 19-year-old walks by the original Maxwell Street Polish restaurant in the south side of Chi-Town, aka Chicago. Funny, I used to say Chi-Town, but then I watched a Kanye documentary and I was like, oh, it's Chi-Town. Gotcha. Because the city is actually called Chicago. Now, it wasn't the juicy dogs that the teen wanted, it was the cash. Ah, yes, driven by greed. So this must have been premeditated unless he's just strapped all the time, but this young man pulls out a pistol and then holds the gun to the worker's head. In the meantime, he's executing his multitasking skills and he's barking at the second employer to hand over the cash in the register and their wallets as well. And this is where it all goes downhill. Going back to the first employee that has the gun to their head, the first employee was holding a bucket of grease. This bucket of grease ended up spilling everywhere while the guy was handing the cash over. This had caused the cash to just fly everywhere with the robber trying to grab the cash. This reminds me of that one traumatic scene of that movie Matilda. Do you remember when she's sitting in front of the TV with her family and they're watching that weird TV game show and a contestant goes in covered in glue and then they go into this glass thing and then all of a sudden the money flies everywhere, and because the guy's all sticky from the glue, he's trying to catch as much money as he can. This is exactly what I was imagining in my head. But this is probably not what happened in real life. It's just my imagination getting to me. So the robber tried to grab as much cash as he could and they put the gun in their waistband. Now, little did they know that there was surveillance footage that captured the entire crime, including the boxers that they were wearing while they bent over to pick up the cash. And reports say that it was just dollar bills, so the guy probably, I don't know if he even got that much money from this robbery. Probably not. It's a hot dog stand. I don't think they're carrying big bills in their register. Now, this guy obviously watched a lot of movies, and honestly, I don't think it's safe to put a gun in your waistband, especially if the safety wasn't on, and especially if you're running. But that's what he does, because after the scene of the crime, I keep saying crime of the scene. Is this scene of the crime? I keep getting mixed up. The robber runs. He starts running across the street onto the other side, but what had happened was the gun had accidentally discharged. Out of all the body parts that had been shot, it was his schnitzel that took the bullet. And they weren't taken down right away. They were still trying to run, but they must have been overwhelmed with what must have been agonizing pain and misery of his schnitzel in his pants that at some point he collapsed in front of a home. Dude only made it a couple blocks. Something in the universe must have decided to give him a second chance because they were transported to the hospital, but at the hospital, they were arrested. The hospital was able to collect the bloody boxers, and the boxers matched the boxers on that surveillance footage. I wonder if it had a cool print like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or something, but it was probably something lame like Rocko's Modern Life, No wonder karma hit him. I don't know how long he was in the chokey for. I'm sure he learned his lesson. Hopefully they did. It was a teen when it happened, so hopefully they can turn things around and still change. They're still young enough to, you still got a chance to change and do better in life. A lot better.